is the 25th of May. It's a Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about some fundamentals, things that are basically touching the markets in the macro and the micro level, in sort of the traditional finance world, and what's happening currently in cryptocurrencies. So the first thing I want to sort of cover is Davos. Davos is where the economic forum, the World Economic Forum, is taking place, and a lot of cool things are being discussed there. A lot of there's a whole cryptocurrency event there. A huge team of people from MakerDAO to Uniswap to Ethereum Foundation to Cardano were present there, talking with other big hedge funds and big like financial leaders. And we actually had Ray Dalio that was present there, and he gave an interview. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna play this 4-minute video for you, so we can all watch it together.
So we keep asking the same question.
D, could you tell me if you guys can hear it just fine?
What do you think?
Yes, it's working fine.
Awesome, cool. Let's watch this 4-minute video, and then we'll kind of break it down from here. But this is Ray Dalio's current opinion on the financial affairs.
What do you think's going to happen to this crazy economy of ours?
Well,
what do you see happening here?
I think, three major themes that we have to understand, right? The creation of too much debt and too much money, right? Mm-hmm. In amounts that never existed in our lifetime, but existed many times in the past, in the 1930 to 45 period, number one. So we'll talk about that, I hope. Number two is the internal conflict, populism of the left and the right, and what that is doing both politically, and that, of course, have economic considerations. And number three is the rising of great powers to challenge the existing great power and the existing world order. Now, if you bring those things down, here we are having a monetary policy. Okay, where are we in the monetary policy? And what's the big question? So if you want me to answer that, I'll give you.
Yeah, so I think that big question is, can the Fed effectively reduce demand without breaking the back of the economy?
Okay. And rather than just jumping to the answer, I always like to deal with the mechanics behind the answer, you know? And I think the answer is no, but here's the reason why. An interest rate, when there's a lot of debt, one man's debts are another man's financial assets. Mm-hmm. And they have to balance both of those things. And so they will not be able to raise interest rates to a high enough level to adequately provide a real return to investors. So if you think about the rise in rates, mm-hmm. and we say 3% is an interest rate, right, or even 4% in an interest rate, that is not going to be an amount of money that's adequate to compensate for the inflation rate. And we're in a paradigm shift, I think. A paradigm is, something happens for 10 years, an environment for 10 years, and at the end of that 10 years, people believe everything that happened in the prior 10 years, and then they get a surprise. Right. And then they start to change. And something like, for example, cash is a safe investment, or bonds are a safe investment after a 40-year bull market and those types of things. That begins to shift as they start to think, am I getting a real return? So there's going to be a supply-demand balance. Most importantly, the Federal Reserve is going to sell, individuals are selling, foreigners are selling, and the U.S. government is selling because it has to fund its deficit. So there's going to be a supply-demand problem. That means that it produces a squeeze because so much money was put out at such cheap rates, right, and so much financing was taken that it'll be difficult to achieve that balance.
So I remember when you would tell us that cash is trash.
Yeah.
Is cash still trash?
Of course cash is still trash. Cash, I'm asking you, you know how fast you're losing buying power in cash?
I feel that in terms of inflation every day. However, I'm also, for those who own equities out there, they're feeling it even worse.
Well, it depends what cash is. Equities are trashier. Okay. The question is, what's going to get you a real return, right? And so we've shifted it into an environment where assets that do well, almost like in the 70s, are in those types of things. Real assets, real return assets in its various ways are the best investments. I think the world is long. Here's a dynamic I think that's a problem. Everybody's long, equities and so on. And everybody wants everything to go up. And the Federal Reserve wants everything to go up. So what they do is they give you money and credit, lots of money and credit, that helps hyping it. And when the more they hype it, the more it becomes somebody else's financial asset they're holding.
Yep.
And so the world is holding all these financial assets and so on. You can't have that. So you're going to have an environment, I think, of negative real returns. And so as you think about how do you diversify your portfolio or even be short those things, everything can't go up all the time. That system won't work that way.
Yeah, so right there, he's made some really, really valuable points about how the fiat sort of cash grab is working, how we've been borrowing a ton, we've been lending a ton, and why he sort of has those emphasis on things. And he said a few different things about Bitcoin as well that we'll kind of cover here. But yeah, so billionaire investor Ray Dalio says cash is still trash, but stocks are even worse as the Fed struggles with inflation. So yeah, Ray Dalio continued to urge investors to stay away from cash amid high inflation and warned stocks could look even worse. Instead of stocks or cash, real return assets are the best investments, he told CNBC. You're going to have an environment of negative real returns. This is how he's defining things at Davos right now, right? At the World Economic Forum. And saying, you know, like you should be sort of diversifying in many different things. And then he had something to say about cryptocurrencies. He calls cryptocurrencies the digital gold. And I wish I could show you an article about that. Maybe I can. Yeah, there we go. Just give me a second. So Ray Dalio further in that same interview covered his pointers on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall. So what does he say about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? So he goes, a billionaire investor and Bridgewater associate founder Ray Dalio has referred to cryptocurrencies as digital gold. In a new interview with CNBC, the key takeaways are Ray Dalio referred to cryptocurrencies and blockchain as a digital gold. In a CNBC interview today, he said that crypto has a place in the wider set of asset classes. The billionaire investor also confirmed that he holds a tiny percentage of his portfolio in Bitcoin. So let's see some quotes that he said here. So he goes, famed investor and bestseller author Ray Dalio has likened Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to digital gold, the latest in a series of indications that his views on blockchain has profoundly shifted. Speaking on CNBC, he said, cryptocurrencies and blockchains, great. Comparing crypto to other scarce commodities such as precious metals, he claimed that Bitcoin and some of its peers would enjoy an important place among asset classes. I think a digital gold, which would be a Bitcoin type of thing, something that probably in the interest of diversification of finding an alternative to gold has a little spot relative to gold and then relative to other assets. So he continues, he goes, Bitcoin has made a tremendous achievement over the last 11 years. Dalio comments seem to further advance his image as a so-called crypto bear, who has recently come around the asset class. Dalio has taken relatively negative stance on Bitcoin. So yeah, back in 2020 and previous to that, he had a different stance on cryptocurrencies, and just like other folks in the political field, in the sort of corporate field, he's also taken a green light towards it in the last few years, especially after all the sort of the stocks and traditional finance sort of dropping in sort of value over the past 6 months, especially with the interest rate hikes in America. So yeah, so he's pretty bullish on Bitcoin and cryptos, and calls it the digital gold. Pretty super. Cool, guys. Next thing I want to sort of cover is JPMorgan, because JPMorgan was another sort of contender of basically Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And did they just take this? So yeah, so let's cover this article here. So JPMorgan says Bitcoin has significant upside from here. and could rise to $38,000. Real estate, not so much. So what's JPMorgan talking about? So whenever JPMorgan speaks, it's worth listening to because they have the trillions of dollars in assets to basically buy anything in the world. And what did they say about the crypto market? So let's kind of zoom into this here. So it goes in the past months, crypto market correction looks more like capitalization relative to last January and February, and going forward, we see upside for Bitcoin and crypto markets more generally. JP Morgan now sees digital assets and hedge funds as its preferred alternative asset class, with real estate being moved to the sidelines as mortgage rates soar. However, the investment bank strategists also downgraded the alternative investments as a whole to underweight from overweight, citing persistent macroeconomic challenges. So let's see what the crypto shift of JP Morgan is. So it reads here, JP Morgan has made strides to get more involved in the crypto industry since last year, when it gave its wealth management clients access to six crypto funds, including Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. The bank also announced in February that it would make a strategic investment in TRM Labs, a blockchain analysis firm. The investment comes despite CEO James Dimon long history as a crypto critic. Dimon argued that Bitcoin was a fraud in 2017 and called the leading cryptocurrency worthless in October of last year. So if they want to have access to buy Bitcoin, we can custody it, but we can give them legitimate, as clean as possible access. So what you're seeing here is just like the Ray Dalio sort of scenario. You're seeing JP Morgan take a different insight into cryptocurrencies, and this is a sort of trend that's been happening quite a bit in the last 6 months. So that's JP Morgan. So JP Morgan believe Bitcoin will rise back to 38K as its next prediction. So that's the news on JP Morgan. Let's continue. The next thing I want to kind of show you is the evolution of Bitcoin chart. This is pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to share this article with you guys. It's a Medium post. I think a lot of you can get some value out of it. Just give me 1 second. If you go to live chat, you'll see that I've posted it there. So what is this, right? So the evolution of Bitcoin, right? The answer to the question of crypto market's legitimacy is controversial and ambiguous. No law predicted the appearance of cryptocurrencies, and none has issued regulation directly affecting it. Nevertheless, the path we were meant to walk seems clear. So this is a sort of, you can say, a breakdown of the evolution of Bitcoin. You know, we started off with digital scarcity. Not everyone had a Bitcoin. Then we had collectibles. And then we had improving decentralized censorship. Then we had speculation that more people will want to buy and hold, greater security and protocol robustness, withstanding social and technical attacks, accumulating backs. Someone's mic is going off. Could they please mute that microphone, or I'll just do it manually from my side. Just give me a second. Okay, no worries. So it's great. So this was back in 2018, right? And then from 2021, we've seen greater perceived safety, greater education understanding. That's what we're doing at Cobras right now. Greater custodial solutions, institutional, financial.
Z, just a quick one. Sorry, you're not sharing your screen.
Am I not? Just give me a second. It says that it's sharing. I can unshare and then share
This
again.
happened to me as well earlier. It looked like it wasn't sharing, but it was on the phone. I think it might just be Discord bugging, bro.
Yeah, now it's back on.
It's back on, yeah. So you can see the screen now. So this is the chart, the evolution of Bitcoin basically. So in the start, it started off as digital scarcity, as immutable, as a collectible that nerds and other folks that were into. And this is back in 2018, right? We looked into cryptocurrencies as a collectible sort of thing. But then as we sort of passed, we basically, had better perceived safety around it. We had better education around it, greater liquidity, as in like people like JP Morgan buying it on their portfolio, greater perceived protocol reliability, greater trust. So we have things like Lightning Network that are sort of making it a bit better. Reliable store of value, growing network value, lower distinctive to spend. So now you can, find a better value to fiat currency, even greater liquidity now. With Binance and these big exchanges and Lightning Network, making it more accessible to other people, and other things like Stripe that make it open to South American countries and Asian countries. Better price stability. This is still to be debated, especially with the price action. Greater accessibility and recognizability. So now more folks know about Bitcoin compared to the past. And now we have a widespread medium of exchange, even greater price stability, convenient unit of account, and full global money. So now we're using Bitcoin to pay for, soon enough we'll be using it to pay for our gas, electricity, our utility bills. And that's the sort of small evolution of Bitcoin. And whenever we get into these tokens, we have to think about the same thing. We have to think about DeFi as a very, very young sort of child that's just growing his legs and starting to walk and starting to run and starting to learn its skill sets, and it's going through an evolution. And it's important for us to understand that whilst there's turmoil in the markets for it. But that's the evolution of Bitcoin. Hope that gives you guys insights. The next thing I want to go through is we've not done this in a while, but I want to go through a few different projects that I think that will give us really good value in the near future. So we're gonna start off with some NFT projects that I've been looking into, and we're gonna start off with this one here on OpenSea called WarpSound. So WVRPS. So what is WVRPS? So WVRPS are the first hybrid generated PFP plus AI composed musical NFT minted on the Ethereum blockchain. There's up to 10,000 unique NFT based on the WarpSound virtual artist Naomi, Gnar Hart, and DJ Dragon, with art by Emmy winning illustrator Andy Poon, and embedded 1-to-1 original music composed entirely by AI. So this is like right now it's worth 0.1 Ethereum, and look pretty cool. But this is going to be the future of how music is going to be used in utility when it comes to NFTs. So let's go check their website out and read a little bit about them. Let's read their story a little bit. So what is WarpSound, huh? As the story goes, one night while WarpSound crew DJ Dragon, Naomi, and Gnar were experimenting with conjuring music together, their machine interface transporting them to an otherworldly sonic place. Something glitched. The light flickered as they were knocked to the floor of their warehouse with a heavy thud. Rubbing her temple, Naomi stood up and sensing a disturbance in the energy around them. She was hearing things, a ringing in her ear, yes, but also it was almost as if she could hear thousands of gnars, or so she understands. It seems like a warped daydream, but it has deeper than that. It felt like they were out there somewhere. I like the introductions. But yeah, so WarpSound is a big music project. It's creating layers of many different sort of albums and NFTs that'll be released on this sort of thing, and basically by buying the NFT right now for as little as 0.1 ETH, we can see that their roadmap is going to be giving us some huge sort of compounds through the year. So we'll keep an eye on WarpSound. I'm gonna pass you guys this link, these links here, so you guys can check out the OpenSea collection. Just give me a second. So I'm gonna just put that into live chat for you guys here. So that's one thing. Like this is one project. It's worth 0.1 ETH. I think in the near future this will be worth much more. We feel this will be worth in the 10s of 20s of ETH. So we'll see how WarpSound sort of gets through. The next thing I want to show you is Gates of Eternity. I think this will be a big play to earn game. So Gates of Eternity Genesis NFTs by Ether Games incorporated an exclusive collection of 3,000 Genesis GOE creatures that'll be sold between February and December 2022, on top of being playable creatures with the upcoming game Gates of Eternity. So yeah, so when we talked about NFTs earlier, and I feel something like, let's say the Chaos Stalker is worth 0.08 ETH. These are going to be features in the soon to be game. Um, and I think as the game comes out, these projects that are worth 0.08 ETH, these NFTs will be worth much more. I'm stretching for like 1 to 2 ETH per project. So right now it's worth 0.08 ETH. Let's look in their website a little bit. Give me a second. So yeah, this is the story. So the game is gonna have many different levels. It's gonna have it's got a whole sort of storyline background. It's got the game also has fungible mechanisms where AEG token will be used as a stable in the game, and they will be using things like non-fungible tokens. Uh, yeah, basically these are the kind of projects that, and then like when these games come out, Gates of Eternity, these are the kind of projects that will that'll give value to these NFTs. That's how I see NFTs these days. Like you have to find utility within these things. The next two projects I want to kind of look into is Playboy Rabbitars. This is quite a big one. So yeah, so Playboy Rabbitars are a lagomorphic themed civilization of 11,953 unique NFTs inspired by Playboy iconography, heritage, and lore. In the context of metaverse, Rabbitars are NFTs that live on Ethereum blockchain as ERC721. Each Rabbitar is generated from 175 plus traits, including furs, ears, facial expressions, apparels, accessories, and more. Some of the rarest Rabbitars traits are inspired by culturally significant aspects of Playboy art and editorial history. So yeah, so these bunnies here are going to be valued quite a bit. Let me give you guys the OpenSea link. I can find it for you. Give me a second. So yeah, currently these are worth, and these are gonna have storylines as well. There's a whole sort of like thing going on. So yeah, these are like 0.03. Like, and then soon enough these will be worth something. So I'm gonna give you guys this link here to check it out. Give me 2 seconds. So these are projects to me. I think like right now with the floor prices, that I think like right now they're pretty cheap. They're worth lesser than an ETH, and soon enough they will be worth quite a bit in the near future. So these are projects that I think that will do well. The last project I'm gonna leave you guys with is Stoner Cats. These are gonna be something they have huge you can say production studios behind them. They've got many sponsorships, and right now the floor price is 0.19 ETH on these. So Stoner Cats is an adult animated short series.
Sorry, I don't know if it's my phone, but I can't see your screen again.
You're not able
Is
to see my
anyone else
screen?
having?
It's working. I think it is your phone. I see the screen.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, maybe it's.
Yeah, I think this Discord's been buggy today, right? Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, Discord on phone especially is like laggy and stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah, use your computer, man.
Takes a lot of bandwidth and a lot of RAM and everything.
But no worries.
Alright, cool, no worries.
No worries. This will be on YouTube very soon, so you'll be able to catch up. But do hear me out. Do hear me out, because I'm giving some good sauce here. So yeah, Stoner Cats is another project. Yeah, it's got like a huge studio behind it. It's got many sort of sponsors. It's got like a lot of collaborations. And if you go to stonercats the website, it will give you more. But I'll give you this link here. Most of these are at floor price right now. These are worth like I think 0.19 ETH each, and in the near future these will be worth quite a bit. I'm gonna just pass that link to you guys here, so you guys can check out the Stoner Cats collection there. and we can even check the website. We can actually check some of their animations. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna play this video for you guys. So these are like one of many sorts of like animated series that they're working on, and they have they have a huge sort of like, you can say, a lot of sponsors behind them, a lot of like good developers, and I think this has potential in the near future to like really do well. So yeah, you guys can check out the website here. I'll pass you guys the link here. Just give me a second. So those are the NFT projects that I see that'll create value. Next up, I want to talk about two projects that maybe Simon and Connor here can also talk a little bit about. But the first thing I want to cover is Evmos, Evmos. Am I pronouncing that right? So Evmos is bringing the world of Ethereum-based applications and assets to the interoperable network of Cosmos ecosystem, all while aligning developer and user incentives. Let's adventure together into the world of innovations where EVM meets interchain composability. So Evmos is a big utility project that I think is going to be quite big on the Atom on the Cosmos mainnet, and I would seriously look into buying this thing. And in fact, you guys can also look into their airdrop. They did an airdrop a couple of weeks ago, and we can basically look into buying these projects. So yeah, so Evmos currently is worth $2.21. So do check out do check their website out and see if you're eligible for their airdrop. But this is a project with big utility. So I'm gonna give you guys the link to this here, so you guys can check it out. In 1 second. And yeah, so that's a big project on Cosmos mainnet. Do check that out. And the last thing I'm gonna give you is this move to earn stuff that's basically getting a lot more noticeability. So what is STEPN? So STEPN aims to revolutionize the market of fitness application by incentivizing millions of users to follow a healthier lifestyle. The app solves several problems like proof of movement, proving that users really exercised, and functioning GPS systems. More often, STEPN incentivizes users financially and plans to introduce social rewards elements and successfully contributes to carbon neutrality. So yeah, so to me, this project here is going to be worth quite a bit. It's got huge use cases, and the reason it's been talked about in the last few weeks, and the reason you saw the sort of pump that you did in the last month, was because they are rumored to have a big sports sponsor come through very soon. So they have a really ambitious roadmap, and their Discord members right now is over 500,000. They have a big following, and people are using this as real use case. Like, you can download the app on iOS and Android and start using it to earn STEPN tokens and basically get rewarded for jogging, for walking, or running outdoors. It really brings gamify to the scene, and yeah, so it's been featured on Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance. Its team is pretty fire. They're all doxed, and they've worked on huge projects. You can check them out. Their advisors are quite big as well. And they have the VP of Adidas on it, so Scott Dunlap, and they have huge backings. And we're only like I think like 5% there in their journey. So if you look into STEPN here, it's called GMT token, and it's worth $1.39 right now. So we're only like 10% into the circulating supply. To me, this is a big project that can do wonders. Cool, guys. These are projects that you can look into, NFT and token projects, and buy them at the dip, and then see these things really pump in the small amount of time that we have. DeFi. But that's it for me, guys. That sort of covers the fundamental news. Thank you.